Sonic, Rainbow Dash, and the hangers-on found themselves in a hallway exactly like the one that the portal of the Town Hall Pavilion led to. Sonic and Rainbow looked around. Even though they clearly entered the portal above the floating hill, it seemed as though it had led them to the same place. Even the stained glass windows along the side of the room were the same. Rainbow's dad asked, "How did we get back here? We went through the portal on the hill, not the one in the pavilion." Sonic shrugged. "Maybe it just looks the same as the hallway that the pavilion portal led to. You said there was an image on the door at the end of the hall, right, Rainbow?" Rainbow looked at him and said, "Yeah, it had the you-know-who on it." Luna raised an eyebrow. "Who is you-know-who?" Celestia looked at her younger sister and said, "I believe she is referring to the apparent encounter with Nightmare Moon that Twilight, Albus, and Sonic had." Luna looked a little uneasy at that. Sonic nodded. "Right. So if the door looks different, it must lead to somewhere different." Rainbow said, "I got you. Let's go check it out." She and Sonic then ran towards the opposite end of the hall. The hangers-on followed them out at their own pace, after Celestia gave Luna a little nudge to shake her out of her thoughts. When he reached the end of the hall, they found Sonic and Rainbow standing in front of the door that displayed an unusual lizard on it. Rainbow looked at it, Sonic, and asked, "Any idea what that is?" Sonic held up to his chin and he said, "It's hard to tell since it's a rough design, but it looks familiar. I think." Before he could finish, the door started to open, a white light shining out from behind it, forcing everybody to cover their eyes for a moment. When they could look again, they saw that the door was open all the way. The white light seemed harsh. Sonic and Rainbow looked at each other for a moment before running into the light. Celestia and Luna hesitated for a second before walking to the door themselves. The four of them stepped out of a portal into a decagon-shaped room that Sonic instantly recognized. The portal instantly closing up behind them. There were 4 sheets of glass underneath them, and several windows and some kind of computer at the opposite end of the room. Windows all showing a clear view of both the Earth and the stars. They all walked towards the non-glass part of the floor, Sonic walking slightly ahead of Rainbow Dash and the princesses. "Where are we?" Rainbow Dash asked as he came to a stop. Sonic continued walking forward, coming to a stop in front of one of the windows. He pointed out and, looking back over his shoulder, said, "Check out the view." Rainbow, Celestia, and Luna walked over and looked out the window. The 3 of them were stuck speechless when they saw the blue planet below. Is that?" Celestia started. Sonic nodded. "Yep, that's my world. And with that, let me be the first, maybe only one, to welcome you all to Space Colony Ark." Rainbow looked down with wide eyes. "Wait, you mean this is the Ark? The same one we saw earlier, where Shell was born?" Sonic nodded. "The very same." Rainbow exclaimed, "Oh man, this is so awesome! Almost everybody was here to see this, especially Twilight. You know she actually loved to set hoof on this thing." "Yeah, unfortunately we got 2 hangers-on with us instead of the main characters." Celestia looked at Sonic in surprise. "You mean, your world is so advanced, you can actually live in space?" Sonic replied, "Not really. The Ark is the only one of its kind right now. It was meant to only be used for scientific testing and experimentation." Luna asked, "This is a research center. Why is it so quiet and empty?" Rainbow said, "Because they shut it down 50 years ago over an accident." "It wasn't an accident. They weren't thinking when they heard about Gerald's experiments." Sonic asked, "Did Tails tell you and Applejack about that?" Rainbow nodded, so he said, "Okay then, because I told Twilight, Spike, and Scootaloo about it. I was wondering if you knew about the whole accident too, but I never got around to asking you." Before Celestia and Luna could ask what they were talking about, Sun's side outside caught everyone's attention. "What's that?" Celestia asked. "I hope by sound outside you mean the sound outside the doors in the space station, and not the sound outside of the space station. Because, as we've always established, there's no sound in Mother Frackin' Space. So space." Sonic looked down towards the window. "Sounds like the eclipse cannon opening up." He placed his hands against the window, looking out as Rainbow Dash pressed her foot against it, looked out as well. Celestia and Luna looked out the window, though they kept their foreheads on the floor. Biolizard appears. Outside, you can see the Eclipse cannon opening up, exposing the weapon that destroyed the Black Comet. As they looked out at it, something began to appear along the length of it, seemingly appearing out of nowhere. When it was done, you can see a massive, two-legged lizard attached to the Eclipse cannon. What is the name of Tartarus? Luna exclaimed. Luna! Celestia admonished her younger sister. Rainbow looked at Sonic and asked, What is that thing? Sonic looked back at her, asking, Did Tails mention anything about Gerald's Robotnik's experiments prior to Shadow's creation to you and Applejack? Rainbow nodded. Yeah, I think he mentioned something about lizard research. Sonic looked back at the window and said, Well, that's the end of the result of that research. That thing out there is the prototype of the ultimate life form. Rainbow looked back at the window in shock. No way! That's what they had before Shadow? That thing? Celestia looked at Sonic and asked, Is it dangerous? Sonic replied, Well, the last time it attached itself to the Ark, it was trying to keep the colony on its crash course to Earth to destroy the planet. Rainbow grimaced, Not cool. Not cool at all. Biolizard swung his neck back, his head raised and let out a roar. What's it doing? Luna asked. Sonic replied, I don't know, but it doesn't look happy, so I'm not waiting to find out. Reached his quills and pulled out a warp ring. Turning around, he tossed it up, the ring expanding with a froom. Rainbow asked, What are you doing, Sonic? The Hedgehog replied, I'm going out there. The Ark has an extensive array of platforms on its underside it can be stand on. It was designed to have an artificial atmosphere. No need to worry about the vacuum of space as long as you're near the Ark. Rainbow said, In that case, I'm going with you. Celestia spoke up, and Luna and I will accompany you as well. Luna looked at her sister with wide eyes. Celestia? Sonic asked, What? You seriously want to go up against the mutated lizard thing? Celestia nodded, Yes. Now that your world is caught up in this, Luna and I are responsible for it as well. I know you're more familiar than we are with that creature, but there would be no point in us coming with you in the first place if we did not help out, correct? Luna glanced out nervously at the biolizard, murmuring, I don't know, sister. Why wouldn't Luna be ready for this? Celestia looked back at her, giving her a reassuring look as he said, Don't worry, Luna. I will not allow any harm to come to you. Luna looked down at the ground, thinking, It's not my own safety I'm worried about. Celestia turned to Sonic and Rainbow to ask, asking, So we fight alongside each other once again. Rainbow replied, Hey, you sure you'll both be okay, Princess? I don't have a problem with you and Luna coming. She looked at Sonic and asked, What do you think, Sonic? Sonic shrugged, Sure. I know an old path that leads directly to the Eclipse cannon. He walked over to the warp ring and placed a finger on it, saying, I just need to adjust the warp ring so we don't run risk of having no force beneath us. Rainbow said, That's not really an issue for me or the princesses. We have wings and all. Sonic replied, But I don't. And we're close enough to Earth as gravity will try to pull us down. I don't know about you, but I really don't want to risk re-entry into the atmosphere. Celestia nodded. A valid point. So how does... Sonic stepped away from the ring and gestured towards it. All you have to do to step through it. It'll send you from point A to point B in a second. Celestia stepped towards it, examining the shiny surface on the inside of the ring. Interesting. And this will take us directly to the path you mentioned, she asked. Sonic nodded. Yep, it's already set, Princess. We're good to go. Nodding, Princess Celestia stepped through the ring, her majestic form vanishing as she passed through the shimmering surface on the inside. Sonic and Rainbow looked at Luna, the Lunar Princess looking back at him, uncertainly for a moment before walking over, following Celestia through the ring. Sonic and Rainbow looked at each other for a moment before Rainbow went through the ring and Sonic followed her. Upon stepping out on the other side of the warp ring, Sonic held up his left hand as the ring shrunk down, floated up and dropped down to the palm of his hand. He slipped it back into his quills and looked around. He saw that he was standing on one of the reticular platforms outside the Ark along the path to the Eclipse cannon. He saw that Celestia, Luna, and Rainbow Dash were all standing nearby. Despite what Sonic had told them, both Rainbow and Celestia looked amazed they were actually standing out in space, while Luna looked less impressed. Though considering what Twilight had mentioned about her, Sonic guessed that made sense. They all dragged back to the present when they heard a roar above them, all of them looking up to see the biolizard looking down at them. Whoa! You see an ugly real close! Rainbow exclaimed. I bet he looked nicer before he was experimented on, Sonic commented. Celestia looked down at Sonic and asked, Do you remember how to calm this creature? Sonic pointed up at the biolizard and said, There's a life support machine on its back. If that gets damaged or destroyed, he gets really weak. Rainbow grinned. No problem then. I'll build a little speed and fly right there and take it out. Before anyone could stop her, she spread her wings and took off, flying around the protrusions for the underside of the arc as she built its speed. Luna asked, So we go after her? Sonic nodded. Yeah. I don't know what she has in mind, but it's going to take more than one hit to take that thing out. Celestia looked back at Sonic and asked, What do you propose we do? Sonic asked, You and Luna fly on ahead after Rainbow. I'll go the long way around and start working on a plan. I should have a better idea what to do after I take stock of the situation. The Ark was falling to Earth the last time it appeared, after all. There's no need for a plan then. Celestia nodded. Understood. Come, Luna. We must hurry if we are to catch her with Rainbow Dash. She had spread her wings and left off the platform, flying in the direction Rainbow Dash had been going. Luna hesitated for a second, before looking back at Sonic for a moment, before following her sister. Sonic, meanwhile, looked out at a nearby grinding rail and began grinding along it, heading for the Eclipse Cannon. As he reached the edge of the rail and began to move on foot, he looked up at the biolizard and thought, He might not be as weak as he was the first time, but that life support machine is still the only part of him that's not protected. As long as we keep it together, we'll be able to defeat that thing, even without the Chaos Emeralds. Soon, with Rainbow Dash. Rainbow glanced at the biolizard as he zipped around another tower, building up speed. She eyed the device strapped to its back, knowing the dome-like protrusion on top of it. That must be the weak spot Sonic mentioned. All I gotta do is pop that bubble and we're done here. As I thought, one solid Sonic Rainbow should be all it takes, she thought. She glanced forward again, planning to fly towards the biolizard. Before she could get far, however, she became aware that someone was calling her name, and looked to see the hangers-on flying right behind her, though still some distance away. Noticing a square-shaped platform below, she landed on it and waited for the princesses. Once they were in hearing range, Rainbow asked, Princess Celestia! Princess Luna! What are you both doing here? Celestia and Luna landed at a second layer, Celestia replying, To watch over you, Rainbow Dash. Sonic is not so sure whatever you're applying will be enough to stop this creature. Rainbow asked, What? How can you say that? I bet the barn once with my flying. A Sonic Rainbow should be more than enough to trash that thing's life support system without putting any point in danger. Luna spoke. Your dedication to others is admirable, Rainbow Dash. But surely you don't think you can do this by yourself. Rainbow replied, Of course, Princess. It'll just be like the royal wedding. Without waiting for a response, she spread her wings and took off, flying up again. Luna looked at Celestia and asked, Sister? Celestia nodded. We'll continue to keep watch. Make sure she's able to pull off a Sonic Rainbow in space. Feels as though something in this artificial atmosphere is very different from the atmosphere we're used to. She then spread her wings and took off, Luna following behind her. As they flew after Sonic Pegasus, she could see she was flying around the platforms and the protrusions on the underside of the arc to build up her speed again. Once she was sure she had built up enough speed, she started flying towards the biolizard. As she flew under a way and walkway leading directly to the Eclipse Cannon, she saw Sonic running along it. Coming up on the other side, she saw him a grin and a wave of her hoof before she fly up toward above the biolizard. This was it. The barrier break was coming. It never came. As she reached the height of her ascent and changed direction to fly for the life support system, Rainbow realized she wasn't close to breaking the sound barrier yet. Grinding her teeth, she poured on the speed as she flew for the biolizard's life support system. Sure, she was close. She began to feel it. The waves in front of her behind her, but it wasn't enough. Not only did she not perform the Sonic Rainbow, but she crashed to the side of the life support system, having not made sure she was spot on with her target. Sonic saw her crash and started running again. The Hedgehog stopped him when he saw her to watch what she was doing. Celestia and Luna, meanwhile, saw what happened and flew into action. Celestia could already see that Sonic was moving to help Rainbow, so she turned to Luna and said, We have to distract it. Quickly, Luna! The Lunar Princess nodded, and they flew up towards the biolizard, Celestia unleashing a small beam of magic energy to draw its attention away from Sonic and Rainbow Dash. The beam struck the creature's left eye, and it roared and turned its head to look at the two princesses. It closed its mouth for a moment, and then opened again, firing around a pink spear's arm. Celestia and Luna flew around these shots as best they could. Somehow, they managed to avoid the shots without losing a wing, or worse. Celestia flew up right alongside, while Luna flew up to his left side. On Biolizard's right side, Celestia summoned more magic to her horn, and released a more powerful beam of magic energy aiming for the creature's neck. When it struck, however, it did little more than push against the biolizard before Celestia stopped using her magic. It completely absorbed my attack, she thought. She didn't get much time to ponder this as the biolizard turned toward her and fired a beam of its own from her mouth. Celestia managed to get out of the way, though she could swear she had been close to losing part of her ethereal tail. Pushing out of her mind, she looked up to see Luna further up the beast's body, fluttering a short distance away from his life support machine. Celestia was confused. Was she hesitating to attack? Luna, attack it! She called, hoping her sister would be able to hear her. The Princess of the Night looked at her uncertainly for a moment before channeling her magic to her horn. It took her several seconds, longer than it should have taken for her, but she unleashed a weak cobalt blue beam in her horn. It started to sever the life support machine, but it didn't seem to have much effect, other than attract the biolizard's attention. It swung its neck around and roared in her direction, Luna looking back at it with wide eyes. Celestia immediately began flying to her sister's side at that. She managed to reach Luna as the biolizard fired several spears in their direction. Celestia immediately used her magic to teleport both away, the two princesses reappearing on the other side of the beast. As she flapped her wings to remain in place, they heard Sonic call, Celestia! Luna! They turned to look. Sonic was sliding down the cable extending from the biolizard support system. Rainbow Dash slung over his left shoulder. He held the war ring in his right hand and called, Come on, we gotta go! He then threw the ring forward, sending it flying. Luna immediately flew towards him, Celestia after her. The ring grew to its full size a second later. Sonic got off with the cable split into two, carrying the still dazed mare with him through the ring. Luna followed soon after with Celestia hot on her hose.